Hey you guys, it is me, Laura, and I just wanted to hop on here and answer a question that I get a lot, share a resource with you, and do a little bit of chitty-chatting. Right now my boys are in the bath, so if you hear lots of loud noises in the background, that's what you're hearing. They're having a lot of fun. But I wanted to, one question I've been getting a lot lately, I've gotten it a few times on videos, I get it a lot in real life, is how we handle books for homeschool, not like curriculum books, but like read alouds and things like that. And especially since I have a literature-based history program that I'm working with, books can be really expensive. I try to utilize the library as much as I can. Before we moved to where we are now, we didn't have an amazing library, so that was a lot harder, and especially just in some situations it's really hard to get books. Now, this is one thing you may not know. For most libraries, you can go online and put books on hold, so if getting out and like actually going into the library for extended periods is hard for you, there's usually a limit to how many books you can put on hold, but you can go and have them hold books for you in a special section of the library, so you just go there, pick up the books you need, check out, and you're good to go. And that is super helpful. Without that, I think I would really be in trouble. And the cool thing about that is that they can often get books that are from libraries in the network, so even if the book's not at your actual library branch, you can still get it from the local network. So that is really, really helpful. But there's sometimes when there's books that I know I'm gonna want long term, because right now I'm doing all the reading aloud to my kids, but if they're books that I know I'm gonna want with multiple children, or that I think my children might want to read on their own when they're at that reading level, I do like to own them. And there's a couple things that I do that really help me to do that. And one of the things that I do is with Amazon.com, I actually have a credit card. We use it like a debit card, so I never am spending more than I have. That's kind of how we always use cards, but you get reward points that you can spend. Like, it's free money at Amazon, basically. So anything that we buy on Amazon, we get these reward points for, and those points are exclusively reserved for our homeschool. So even if we make really big, like we've got a couple big purchases we'll be making for the baby from Amazon, and the reward points will go into our Amazon reward point account, and we can use those for homeschool. A lot of times I'll use those for books, and I will try to get them used. The only time that I do not get a book used is if the price is like super similar, like we're talking $1 or less off between a used copy and a new copy, or they don't have it. Sometimes there's not used copies, but I get used as much as I can, and sometimes they're just so cheap. The new books are so cheap, I can even sometimes get the new book cheaper than the used one, which is really silly, but it happens that way. So that's one way that I do. So all of those books that I get that way are basically free, because I'm already purchasing things that we need from Amazon. I'm not making any additional purchases to get these points, and I'm not having to pay any interest because we use it like a debit card. We pay it off every month. And so I just have this free money that I use to get books for homeschool, which is really, really nice. And it's also helping build my credit score, which is great. And so that is one way that we do it. And then another way that I have recently found is thriftbooks.com. Now, if you go to Amazon, one of the used sellers for many of the books is actually Thrift Books. But if you go to thriftbooks.com, the way that it works is I can often actually get books cheaper there than Amazon, because sometimes they have used books for like $3.79 or $3.50, and if you order at least $10 worth of books at a time, you get free shipping. So that kind of brings that cost down a little bit. So what I'll do there is I often will wait and then purchase a whole bunch at a time, because that saves me even more money, especially with that free shipping. And they have a rewards program. I think every time you spend $50 worth on however many orders you need to do, you get $5 back even on top of that. So that is another way to get the books cheaper. I just ordered several books. I can tell you a little bit about it. And you can also get coupons. I know your first order you get I think you can get 15% off your order. But I just ordered, put in an order yesterday, and I got 5 books for $19, and that includes shipping. And that's really, really good, I feel, especially if you're going online. I know a lot of people like to go to, there's not really any used bookstores, good used bookstores where I am. I know a lot of people like to go there. I find that where I lived before, we had a really good used bookstore, but I found that oftentimes, like, some of these prices that I'm finding at like Thrift Books or used online actually end up even cheaper. So if you go to a used bookstore, be sure to have your phone or something with you so you can double check those prices, because you might actually get them cheaper online sometimes. And I know a lot of people like to go to thrift stores and get books. I find that that is good for just general looking. I am usually not fortunate enough to find books that I'm looking for that way. I tend to get, well, I don't do it, but if I were to buy books, it would tend to be books that I wasn't planning on getting. And so I'd rather just save that money for books that I'm actually really looking for. But sometimes, depending on your area, you might have a lot of like jackpot with really good books that you are looking for that are on your wish list. And by all means, you can get books for like 50 cents, a quarter, stuff like that sometimes at thrift stores. So it's totally worth checking out. But that's kind of how I get most of my books. Also, our library sells books regularly. Sometimes there are books that they have discontinued carrying in the library, but a lot of times they have tons of people donate books, and ones that they don't plan to put in the library because either they already have them or they don't think that they'll be checked out a lot, or whatever the case may be. They do have a bookstore, a discount bookstore, that you can get books that way as well. But that is really kind of how I do books. But I really have, Thrift Books is a fairly recent discovery for me, but I have found that it's really a good way to inexpensively get books. And all of my books that I get are about the $3.79, $3.99 range. I personally am not concerned with getting a book that's in super good quality. Most of these places, if it's an acceptable quality, I mean, unless we're talking like a book that might have like a workbook or something along those lines, but I just find that it's fine. Like, I have some book tape, so if something needs to be taped up, I can just fix it up. You can get some glue, things like that, to fix any books that have a problem, which even books I get new sometimes need those repairs at some point because we read them so much. But that's kind of what I do. I would love to hear what you guys do, how you save money on books and other like additional things that you might need in your homeschool. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Really excited about some videos that are coming up. I've been filming what I've been putting in the boys' work boxes. So you'll have a week of pre-K boxes and a week of first grade boxes. And I have a couple product reviews coming up. And I'm trying to think, I think they're, and at the end of, I'm going to start every month at the end of the month. I'm not going to share with you the read alouds that I do with Timothy unless you want to see them. He's in pre-K. But if you guys like the workbox videos and I do that, you'll see all of his read alouds in the workboxes. But if you want a separate video, let me know. But I will be doing what I've been reading, because I read a lot of kids' books, because I like it, and what I've been reading to Samuel for read aloud, if you guys are interested in that. And I don't know what else you might like to see. I'm really wanting to get some cooking videos, some cleaning videos, some things like that up lately, but I have just really, I mean, I'm pregnant, and those of you who have been following me know that I really struggle when I'm pregnant. I was feeling good. I got all of my activity restrictions lifted, and then my nausea came back full-fledged. So this week over the past week, I have really been struggling with that, and it has not been fun, and I have felt terrible. But life goes on, and this baby is so worth it. So that's all I have to say about that. So let me know if you guys have any questions about anything that I've mentioned in this video. Let me know if there's anything you want to see. And yeah, I will see you guys soon. I hope you have a good day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.